Welcome back to part 2 of making this crochet placemat with the flower edging. So in part 1 we stopped here after making the front post single crochets, and I've ended the thread here. So we can either end the thread like this, or you can, before finishing the last slip stitch, what you will do is you will insert your needle in the first single crochet that we made, and then take the new thread. See, I am using a variegated cotton thread again to make the flowers. So take the new thread, and there is no need to make any knot on the new thread. Instead, you just hold this like it is the working thread and pull it through. So if you pull it through, a join will be made, and also you will have the new thread to start your next row. See, at the back, this is the new thread, and that is the old one with the, which we can cut it off later, or we have to sew it up at the back after we finish the work. Now for some time at least you will have to hold on to that tightly, because your working thread will become loose. Begin by making one chain and one single crochet in the same place. And then chain 4. After making chain 4, you will be skipping 2 stitches. See, these 2 stitches you will skip, and you will work into the third one. So skip 2 stitches, and into the third stitch make one single crochet. Remember, you are working at the new row that we made. Again, chain 4, skip 2 stitches, and into the next one make a single crochet. So I was telling you about where you are working the stitches. It's not on the ridges, but at the back of them. See, I told you. So see, this is the ridge. Don't work your stitches on that, but work at the back. So actually that is the new stitch, the single crochet front post single crochet, and we are working into that, but it will appear like as though it is at the back now. So we'll continue all around like this. Chain 4, skip 2 stitches, and 1 SC into the next. Skip 2 and 1 SC. SC is single crochet. Okay, so you will get loops like this, 4 chain loops like this all around. So, and you have to complete this round. And as we complete, so here you see I have made all the loops. So before you finish it again, just check if your loops are all correct. And now the last loop of or chain 4, slip stitch into the first single crochet that we made, that joins this row. And now we'll start working the flowers. To work the flowers, first of all, slip stitch into the 4 chain loop there, and make 3 chains. 1, 2, 3. Now you will be making another 4 DC in the same chain 4 space. 4 DCs plus chain 3 will become total of 5 DC in that space. I have made one. This is the second DC. Three. And 4. So I made 4 DCs and then there's a chain 3, so that becomes a total of 5. After this, now you turn your work and now you are facing the back of the placemat. Here make 4 chains and slip stitch into the first DC that we made, not on the chain 3 but on the DC. So this is chain 3, so don't slip stitch there, but you will slip stitch on the DC that you made. Okay, the first DC there. You have to slip stitch, or if slip stitch is a little difficult for you, you can even make a single crochet, but slip stitch is preferable. See, once again I am showing you. Make sure that you do your stitch on the second one, or the first DC and the second in that series. Okay, you have to work a slip stitch, but only if, I made a single crochet, but that's not advisable. You can make a slip stitch there. After you make the slip stitch, then turn your work, and now you are facing the right side of the placemat, and make 3 chains, and in the loop that is formed by the 4 chain, inside that loop work 2 more double crochets, 1 and 2. After 2 double crochets, now you will make 3 chains, 1 2 3. Then slip stitch into the same chain 4 space. So we have made 1 petal now. Okay, it will appear like as though there's no place, but just push your work a little to the side, and then you will be able to make the other 2 petals also. Now again the next petal starts with 3 chain, followed by 2 DC inside the space or inside the chain 4 loop. So 1 DC and the next DC, and now again chain 3. So start with chain 3, make 2 DCs and end with chain 3, and this chain 3 has to be slip stitched into the same space again. And after you slip stitch, to make the next petal, begin with chain 3, 1 2 3, and 2 DC inside the same space again. One and 2. Followed by 3 chains again. And this 3 chain, you should not slip stitch into the space or the ring there. You should slip stitch at the top of the last DC that we made at the bottom. See, in this space. Okay, you should slip stitch to the top of the last DC of the 5 DCs that we made below there. So slip stitch, and then the petals are finished. To complete this flower, there's still one more stitch. See, this is how the petals will look now. This is the back side, and this is the front. And you will have to just flatten out the petals. So there are 3 petals. Just flatten out the petals after you make them. And to complete this flower, we have to make one more double crochet or one more DC into the ring or the space below, down there where we already made 5 DCs. In that space you have to make one more DC there. So this completes one flower. Now chain 3 and single crochet into the next loop. Again chain 3 and we'll start the next flower in this next loop. So to begin the flower, first we will make 5 DC. This is the third DC. Four and 5. So after making 5 DCs, make chain 4, turn your work, attach this chain 4 to the second DC, attach it with a slip stitch. Chain 3. You can either chain 3 here or turn your work and chain 3. After this, now turn your work. You are on the right side of the placemat now. Now begins the 3 petals that you have to do. So for the first petal you already made chain 3. Now we are making 1 DC. This is the second DC, followed by 3 chains. Slip stitch into the space. One petal completed. Second petal begins with chain 3 and 2 more DCs into the same space. And chain 3. Slip stitch into the space. Second petal completed. Third petal begins again with chain 3. And 2 more DCs. 1 DC and 2 DC. DC is double crochet. and chain 3. This chain 3 must be attached to the DC, the 5th DC that we did below there. So attach it with a slip stitch to the DC, and the last stitch in this one is make a DC into the ring below. That completes the second petal. Again begin chain 3, single crochet into the next loop, then chain 3. Now begins the next flower. So it continues like this for the rest of the round. So you will have to work in the same way all around making the flowers. So as you complete the flowers, you just have to flatten them out like this to get them into shape. So there will be 6 DCs there, okay, and the petals are on top of that. So 3 chain, 2 DC, 3 chain, 3 chain, 2 DC, 3 chain, again 3 chain, 2 DC, 3 chains. First chain 3, attach it with a single crochet to the next loop, again chain 3, and then begin your next flower. So in between there is a join which you should not forget. Don't make petals or flowers in all the loops. Off camera I have worked the flowers all around the placemat, and I am working the last of the flowers now. And the last DC into the space below. So this is the last flower. Now we'll see how to attach this flower to the first flower that we made, and this will complete the row. So after you finish the flower, there will be 3 chains, chain 3, and then 1 single crochet into the next loop, and chain 3 again, and this chain 3 will be attached to the top of the chain 3 that we made in the beginning. See, there are 3 chains here, so that's considered as 1 DC, right? So on top of that chain 3, you will insert your needle there and make a slip stitch. So insert your hook under both the loops of that chain and make a slip stitch. So by making the slip stitch, we close this round of work and we'll be going into the next round. Okay, so that completes the first row of petals, first row of flowers. If you wish, you can even stop here, but if you want to make another layer, this is how we will continue. So now I'm on the right side of the work. So to do the next part of the stitches or the next row, what we have to do is turn your placemat to the back side. So the next row of stitches are going to be worked from the back side. We can work it from the front also, but it's easier to work from the back. So pick up that loop which we left off when we ended the previous row and make a single crochet in the chain 3 loop that is there, right? See, you can see the loop there. So in that loop, make a single crochet. And now next, chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Chain 4 and again single crochet into the next loop. Now we are at the back of the flower. So there we will be making 5 chains. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 chains whenever you are at the back of the flower. So after making the 5 chains, you will make a single crochet into the next chain 3 loop or the next chain 3 space. Now chain 4, single crochet into the next space, and when we are at the back of the flower, chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it alternates between 4 chains and 5 chains. Single crochet into the next chain 3 space, chain 4 now, and single crochet into the next chain 3 space. So this is how it continues all around. 5 chain, 4 chain, 5 chain, 4 chain. So this is the base for making the next set of flowers. So that's what this is. See, that's chain 4. This is chain 5. Chain 4, chain 5. All around till we reach the end. Now I have completed off camera. I have done all the chains around the placemat, and I have come to the last where we will have to join this round. To complete this round, so I have made 5 chains because I am at the back of the flower. So 5 chains, and this 5 chain has to be joined with the slip stitch to the first single crochet that we made. See, we made a single crochet and then we started making the chains. So in that single crochet you will make a slip stitch. Make a slip stitch to join this round. So that completes that round. Now since we were till now working at the back, now we have to turn to the front. So to make it easy to turn, I am just making 1 chain and then turning the work. So the needle will be in a position to start the next round here. So I have made 1 chain already. I am going to make 2 more chains. We have to make a total of 6 chains. So I made 1 chain and then 5 more. So total of 6 chains. So to only in the beginning you're going to be making 6 chains, and now single crochet into the next loop that you see there, or the next space, then chain 3, and in this space we are going to make the flower. Okay, see here there are 2 flowers and the next flower will be in between this. So that's the loop there for making the flower. So the steps for making the flower is the same, but it will be a little bit bigger. That's all the other steps are the same. So begin with a single crochet, a total of 5 begin with a double crochet. So there will be a total of 5 double crochets inside that space. After making the 5 double crochet, let me get the yarn a little bit looser. Then I am going to make 4 chains and join it to the second DC or the second double crochet there with a slip stitch. And now chain 3, turn your work and make the first petal. Or you can even turn your work and then make the chain 3. Either ways is okay. So chain 3, and after this we are going to make 3 DCs. So in the previous flower we made only 2 DC. Now we are going to make 3 DC, and after that 3 chain and slip stitch in the ring or the space. Again 3 chain followed by 3 DCs. So the petal will be a little bit bigger than the previous row flower. Chain 3 and slip stitch the last petal, chain 3 and then 3 DC into the space. Now chain 3 and join it with a slip stitch to the DC below, and then 1 more DC into the space down there. So that completes 1 flower. Okay, there is a flower in between now. Next, chain 3, single crochet into the next space there. Again chain 3, and now you are at the position to make the next flower. So that's how it continues throughout. So as you go, I also want you to set your flowers correctly like that, and keep making flowers in between all over till you come to the end of this row. So I am repeating once again here, the petals are a little bit bigger. So there is a total of 5 DCs, chain 3, 3 DC and chain 3. So that makes it total of 5 DCs. So the petal will be little bit bigger. We will continue like this till we finish all the flowers. Okay, that's 1 petal completed. Then the next petal again, chain 3, 3 DC, chain 3, slip stitch into the space, chain 3, 3 DC, and chain 3, and now slip stitch to the last DC in that previous row, and 1 more DC into the space below, and you'll continue like this. So I have now completed, off camera I have completed the second row of flowers also, and I'll show you how to join this last flower. Okay, so the last 3 chains we have made, which we will be slip stitching into the DC below, and after this we were usually making 1 DC in the space below here. Okay, So this is how we used to do the flower, but only when in the last, when you are finishing this, we are not going to do that DC. Instead, we are going to slip stitch and attach it to the third chain. See, earlier we made 6 chains in the beginning, if you remember. So you are going to attach it to the third chain here. So instead of making the last DC, we are going to slip stitch into the, so out of, there are 6 chains here, so in the third chain just slip stitch like this. So when you slip stitch, see that 3 chain will become the last DC that we are missing out. So that is why we should not do the last DC. And when you set your flowers properly, it will it may not look so odd like this. So you can see a little gap there, but it will become all right like this. So that completes our placemat. What is left to do is to finish off the thread, make a chain, pull it and cut the thread, and now you have to weave this thread at the back. See, this is how your final last flower will look. So there is a small gap there, but when you finish everything, that will set right itself. Now thread it onto a needle. Thread this tail onto a needle, and then weave it up and down, or stitch it up and down for it to become secure. Okay, make some stitches up and some stitches down in a zigzag motion so that it is nice and secure. And it's now time to trim off the excess tail, and with that we finished the placemat. Okay, after this, if you want to iron the flowers or steam them, you can still do it, but because these are flowers, they look, even if you don't iron it, it will look nice. The petals will look like real petals. See, this is how the back would look, and we are done. And once you are done, you just smooth out all the flowers flat. If you are not going to press it, you just smooth it out like this, and it's done now. Enjoy your placemat. Thank you for watching, and if you like my video and my tutorial, please give it a like and share it with your friends. Thank you.